How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How we living today? Welcome to the next episode of The Fool's Den. Now today we got a special topic. I want to talk to some people about entrepreneurship. Like how is it that we achieve essentially what it is our goals are. Like I said over here at The Fool's Den, this is where we make dreams come into reality. And I have, my young protege himself. He is the founder and the creator of Soul Studios, Blackie Robinson, to give us his take. Now, me personally, I don't know if I would have turned around in a chair like that. Like, that was some, like, these villain stuff. Like, I like the energy because, me personally, hey, it's the era of the villain sometimes.
Hey, I'm in my own lane.
I like that. We pave our own way with it. We pave our own way with it. So, Soul Studios, what can you tell me about it that the people don't know?
I am Blackie Robinson. Soul Studios. Soul Studios is a production company started by me, founded by me, ran by me. Right now, our biggest project coming out next year, 2026, is going to be Soul Survivor, a webtoon on canvas created by me, written by me, but drawn by my cousin, Jay Storm. You can find her on Instagram at jstormforever. Commissions are open, just DM.
Okay, okay. I like that you putting your people on wherever you walk in. That's how you do it in the community. Wherever you walk in, your people walk in with you. I like that energy. Shout out to Jay Storm. I appreciate your work. It's a beautiful thing.
Yep, you'll see some merch from her, drawn by her, used by The Alchemist himself, coming out in Comic Con hopefully 2026. But basically, I am here to put y'all on game. Because something's about to happen where you're about to witness a phenomenon, if you will. Because I plan for this comic book to take over that website. We are going to be one of the only comics out there following the hero's journey with a great story, great artistry, and really just a little bit of everything for everyone.
You said the hero's journey. What does that mean to you? Like the hero's journey?
So the hero's journey is a writing mechanism. There's a circle, right, with 16 different points. Those points are there for me, the writer, to write you guys an amazing story. I'm going to take you through the fills. I'm going to introduce amazing characters, and I'm going to kill them all.
Oh, so you on that Attack on Titan energy right there. So like you like, oh, you like this person,
See,
and
not even, not even. I'm going to be more realistic when it comes to it.
I
You're
don't
not
know.
going to get
Attack on Titan was
realistic.
pretty realistic. I don't know if I would have lasted in that universe. Like I probably would have lasted a day or two and been like, oh, I'm done.
As soon as I saw that giant running at me the way it did, come on. Like it's looking for a sale on lip gloss. Nah, I'm out of
I'm gonna be real with you. I'd have been a real villain. If I'm running in a pack, somebody's getting tripped. Somebody's
there. I don't
getting
think
tripped.
Aaron Yeager did anything wrong.
Next question. Next question. We're just gonna move past that. You can tell a lot about a person by the type of anime that they enjoy and who they consider to be the hero and the villain.
Yeah,
But
I
like
don't like.
those concepts don't really exist when you think about it. Good and evil are just a matter of perspective. Because from his perspective, he was the hero the entire time.
That's why I really enjoy those kind of stories. Even when it comes to Naruto, it's really about the cycle of pain and how we as humans we're just doing it over and over again. All these wars, fighting over religion. We're just doing what they did in the past.
You know, that seems to be a reoccurring thing on this show is learning karmic lessons until you pass the lesson, essentially, right? And so when it comes to that, and you talk about the hero's journey, I consider myself to be on the fool's journey because, I always consider myself a student to life. That L in life stands for lesson, you know? But what I always like to ask people when I come in contact with them, what is it that made you take that extra step when you thought about entrepreneurship into creating your own? Because we all talk about like, hey, I want to be that millionaire. Hey, I want to be that boss. Like, hey, I don't like authority. I want to be able to do it myself. What about all of that is what allowed you to take that next step to be like, I'm going to do this for myself?
To be honest, it was two reasons. The first reason is that I've been working for people since I was 15.
How old are you?
25 now. So for 10 years, I've just been working for other people. And I realized I don't like doing that. I don't like working for other people, getting a decent paycheck now. Definitely not before. I was out there working four jobs, being a full time student, just because
Mm.
you wanted bread. Bread is not that important. Something you taught me. Something I'm learning for myself. Bread is not that important. Obviously, it's important, but so is your own happiness as a person. So when I'm just thinking to myself, what do I want to do? I want to be in entertainment. I know that. Even as a kid, I used to go to the Disney and Nickelodeon casting calls. Very fun. Got to meet a few of those people. Miranda Cosgrove,
Did
Janetta
you
Kirk.
really? That's what's up. I ain't know that about you.
Yeah, I used to do that a lot.
I ain't know
I
I was
tried to
talking
do
to a celebrity.
Hubba Bubba Gum. Yeah, I tried to do a commercial for Hubba Bubba Gum. It was nice. A Tide commercial. Didn't get any of these, by the way. But we went out there, we put in the work. What growing up made me realize is I don't necessarily want to be in front of the camera, or I'm starting to want to be behind it. Not necessarily as a director, but as like a producer.
So when you talk about like, so you're producing now, what is it that for our audiences that are listening in, what is it that you can tell someone that's interested in the same on how to get that off the ground? Because I think a lot of people want to take that next step. Like a lot of people want to go above and beyond to achieve their dreams. They just don't necessarily understand what's that next step that I have to take to be able to get me from point A to point B. So like if it was like, hey, I want to be a producer, or hey, I want to, create my own manga, what is it that I should be looking at in order to succeed in this goal?
Things I've learned from like successful people in those industries is that one, you got to be a consumer of that. So if you want to be a comic writer, you got to read comics. You want to be a movie producer, you got to watch movies. You want to have your own restaurant, but you got to know food. You got to know how to cook. You got to know how to eat, what people want to eat. Shout out to my sister and her husband with Zell's Kitchen in Bradenton, Florida. Right now they're a pop-up at the Gordon parking lot on 14th Street, but soon we will be coming to you. I'm talking delivery, and I'm talking location. So stay tuned for
Man,
that.
you're a one man promotion team, ain't you?
Always.
Said, hey, like this is what we doing. Like I'm gonna let whoever know, like, hey, this is where we at with it. I like that energy. I like that energy. It's a confidence when you can walk in wherever you going with your tribe, ain't it?
It is. It's like when you
Yeah.
when you see those people that have that drive, all you want to do is help them in any way you can. Right now, I'm taking business classes, so I'm trying to steer them the right way. Cut down on their menu, get a smaller menu, release it quarterly, stuff like that. So really, it's also about taking that first step. Just
Hmm.
do it, whether it's bad or good. It's a learning experience, regardless.
So when you took that step into entrepreneurship yourself, because I know you're also a father, right? So we also have to take that into account. What when you took that first step, that leap of faith, what did it feel like?
It was scary for sure, because I'm about to put something out there that I've put my blood, sweat, tears, and time into,
Hmm.
and it's up to the general public whether or not they mess with it. But at the end of the day, I still have that creation. It's also my baby. It's also something that I've made, and I'm probably gonna feel proud regardless. I like the story so far, so
I ain't gonna let you. I read the story myself. It's a good one. And I'm gonna tell you right now, whether the public enjoys it or not, hey, if you think it's good, it's good. Be audacious with it.
yeah,
Let them eat it. Let them digest it however they digest it, right?
yeah,
But as long as you rock with it, hey, there's bound to be other people of your tribe, of your frequency, of your mindset that'll rock with it too. Especially knowing your writing style, because you like to hide little things in your writing that a lot of people don't peep until you get to like, chapter 2 or 3. You're like, oh wait a minute.
yeah. I'm an avid fan of One Piece. Oda Sensei. When it comes to a slow burn, and putting in the little sprinkles of foreshadowing, he to me is the king. So I try to put some foreshadowing in there. I try to hide little details, but I can tell you one thing: when you get to the final chapter, it'll definitely all pay off. It'll all make sense to you guys.
I like that. I like that. And what is this? I don't think you said the name of this webtoon yet. What is this webtoon called, and where can we find it?
Soul Survivor. We are not a webtoon original, so we will be on Canvas for now. Once we gain some steam, start rolling, we're gonna create our own platform, coming at you, Digicomics. So people look out on that for Android and iOS.
So you always see the way of elevating yourself. You're not really fixated on the next step now. You're fixated on the next two, three steps. Like how are we going to control all of our factors of production when it comes to this?
Exactly. You always got to think big picture because you're only going to be here once, you know? So I would like to go out saying I did everything I wanted to do, whether it was successful or not, I got to do it. And another thing, I got backup plans. Come on, man. You gotta have backup plans. You gotta. It's not necessarily planning on your failure. When you're a father, a husband, a full time content creator, full time, you know, worker, 9 to 5 or 11 to 8, full time student. You gotta just make sure everything's still coming in. Whether it's money, happiness, time for the family.
Everybody got to eat. You know, there's a saying that I always tell people: you can't fill everybody else's cup if your cup is empty. So how is it that you're replenishing your own cup when it comes to juggling all these hats? Because I know parenting itself isn't easy, and entrepreneurship itself is a task already. I can only imagine marriage on top of that. You know, me watching you to see who you are today versus who I saw, years ago. Those are two completely different individuals.
Yeah.
So how is it that you maintain to juggle these with what seems like grace? Not to say that it's easy all the time, but you manage it well.
To be honest, it takes a village to raise a child, and those people in that village are not just there for your kid; they're also there for you. So my wife does a lot. Okay, she does a lot. My cousin helps me out when she can. We got family down here, so it's like it's not just me. You know, I'm not alone out here. I'm out here getting help when I can. And I'm out here getting knowledge when I can. So it's really a blessing, honestly.
So when we go back to saying like it's a village, did you construct your own village, or was it something that just kind of fell on your lap?
Yeah. I tried to construct my own village, but having a child made me realize some of those villagers were just not on the same timing as me. And the ones that were, they found their way in. I didn't have to do anything. It just happened.
I like that. I like that. We often go through evolutions and cycles of life where the people that are around us don't necessarily stay around us, but eventually everybody elevates to your method of thinking, especially when it comes to family, right? Because I remember before I had a I remember all the people that I used to party and hang out with, all of them are girl dads now, except for one. And like the things that we used to do is completely different than what we do now. Like we used to spend our Friday nights at clubs, drinking and other things. And nowadays we spend our Friday nights, at home watching a movie with kids on the couch. Sometimes it's screaming, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you have to paint nails. It's different.
Yeah, that's kind
Did
of
you see yourself living this life?
no. 5 years ago, I was nowhere. Working 4 jobs, being a full-time student, withdrawn from classes, not doing good in classes, to where I'm almost done with my degree, heading for that 3.0, and I got a family.
Okay.
We get in a house. Like God is good.
You checking them off the box. You right and left.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I see you. I see you. I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. So this is what I always ask whoever's on the show. You said 5 years ago, right? If there's anything that you could have told yourself 5 years ago, you could have a short conversation. Is there anything that you would have changed?
Yeah, you should have did better in school for sure. Should have did better in school. That man. I wish I would have told myself money right now isn't as important as money in the future because I felt like I was trying to get the quick buck where I should have been building towards my future. I was more living in the present, my day to day, and that was what I was going through with the different distractions, addictions, just keeping myself numb at all times. I wish I would have told myself it's okay. It's okay to hurt a little bit. You don't have to dull that sense. It's okay to hurt. It's all right.
I like that. I like that. But I will say, when I met you, I think, was it 3, 4 years ago? 5 years ago, okay. I always tell this to people. You never know what kind of person or influence you have in someone else's life, right? So like You just never know. When you're going through the midst of your own struggle, you could be an angel or a godsend to someone else. That's why I say to some folks, not everybody, because you got to have discernment when it comes to this next message. Never hesitate to be a blessing in someone else's life, because sometimes you are everything that someone else asks for, and whatever way that looks like. Whether it comes from telling somebody a joke on a random day, or giving them 50% off their food. It all just depends. But give yourself grace, because the person, sometimes we don't understand, is the person that we used to be needed to happen to get to where we are now.
Yeah, I'm glad that I hit rock bottom at that age because now it's only looking up right now. It can never be that bad again. I don't think it's even possible. So like there's once
It
you hit
was
that
never
rock
bad to
bottom,
begin with. It was just a lesson to be learned. That's what you got to think about. And I think we're gonna talk more into fatherhood. Because we ain't really spoke on that. But now we got to think about like, the ideologies that we teach our kids. What is it that we're sharing with them? Because sometimes we don't necessarily want them to go through the same struggles that we went through. We want them to be a little bit better. Like me, my daughter is me 2.0. I know exactly how. I know who I am as a person. I know my annoyances to some or my flaws, and my daughter is that and everything more. So whoever she's around, I get it when they get a little beside themselves and they're like, she's doing the most. I encourage it personally. I'm like, this is amazing. But what ideologies am I teaching her?
see Isaiah, he's still a baby. But one thing I know I'm gonna try to impart in him is because he is mixed. That don't be afraid of either side. I think that's one thing I've seen my cousins go through. They're also mixed, and you know they're either hating on one side and like, oh, I claim this side. You're both. I want him to know you're both. You're a beautiful creation, combining two different cultures. Just be you. That's
It's
all I
funny
want.
that it's funny that we talk about cultures, because you and I both we walk in multiple.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm right there with you.
So what is it that you plan on teaching them? Because what is it that you plan on imparting to him? Like how is it that you plan on giving him the information that he needs to walk in the light of both of his cultures?
Pretty much, I'm gonna make sure I bring him around both sides. So I feel like that was one thing my cousins lacked. They stayed more around us than their other family, so they felt some way towards that other family, Which I don't want that for him. I want him to be talkative. I want him to be inquisitive. I want him to ask questions, and I want him to be comfortable with everybody,
I
because
love
that
that.
is what the new generation needs.
I
We need
love
to break
that.
down those borders.
I'm gonna tell you right now, having an inquisitive child takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of patience, but I will say it pays off. It definitely pays off, because you can have a full conversation at some point, but that once they hit that why stage, well, why? Explain everything that you can to them.
Yeah.
I'll be getting insulted over here. I'm like, okay, next.
Yeah. Next. Hey, I just want to impart everything I've learned to try to keep him out of that the dark places. I know there's a chance they're gonna experience that, but I just want to be able to give him the knowledge to get him out of it. I've already been here. I've done that. Let me just give you that knowledge.
I'll give you some advice. Make sure your communication with them stays open at all times, so that if he ever does get in those places, hey, he can just come talk to you. And you got to do it like whenever he brings something to you. The one thing that I always tell my kid is, like if she has a nightmare or something, she'll be like, oh, I had a nightmare. Let me tell you about it. Well, I'm glad you brought this to me. Okay, let's talk about it. And sometimes, me and her will have it over like a glass of orange juice, because that's our thing right now is orange juice. Don't know why, it just is. And she can't enjoy beer, she's too young. But orange juice, that's where we at. But yeah, because sometimes for their paths and for their own journeys as they grow, it's important for them to see the dark places. Not necessarily to dwell in them, but it's important for them to see them at some point. You know,
I want him to be able to come to me for anything. Because
as it should be.
for some family members, I was raised by my aunt and uncle too, and my
Hmm.
mom, and there's definitely things I would go to my mom about that I couldn't go to them about. And there was those things I just go to the homies about.
Look, I had one guy. He was the one part like I would go to him about he was like a dad to me. He is a dad to me. But I would go to him about every single thing that was going on in my life that I didn't necessarily want to tell my parents because growing up in the community that we grew up, there was a stigma that like, hey, if you do something too wrong, you really gonna get your butt whooped at any age, right? And so this guy was someone that like, no matter what twists and turns that I took in life, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I took I took some turns. If I had it my own way, and my younger self was able to do whatever it is that he wanted to do in life, I would not be as I wouldn't be in the position I am today, right? And this guy, whatever I told him, he would always like he would either tell me a story or he'd be like, okay, I understand what you're going through. This is how you can do it to make it better. But he was also one of the first individuals that I know in my teenage years who believed in me enough to be like, hey, you can really do whatever it is that you think you want to do. Even if you don't know it right now, you can do it. And I always thought that was the most amazing thing ever. You know, may he rest in peace. Shout out to Big Glenn. But like that's how the world is supposed to be. And that's why we have the conversations that we do today to continue to keep the dream of believing in yourself alive, right? Because you never know what it is that you can achieve, whether it is fatherhood, entrepreneurship. Hell, if you wanted to be an astronaut, you could do that too.
Shout out the astronaut.
You know, I just had to say that for your manga.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all tune into that Soul Survivor. When you releasing that?
We are planning on January. We're not going to put out the exact date just yet. But 26 for sure. Like I said, we're aiming for that January release with the first 3 chapters. On Webtoons, they are called episodes. Don't let that confuse you. First 3 episodes will be out in January 20.
This is my question for you when it comes to that. You're gonna put out 3 chapters in January. What can we expect on the pacing for that? Because when we watch shows like, am I gonna get a weekly update? Am I getting a monthly update? Like, you going for something that like, is it gonna be like a Black Clover where you gonna leave us off on a cliff off, and then we just gonna be like, oh, what's going on 2 years later?
So for the first core over there, it's called season. For the first 10 episodes of the season, they will be weekly. But then we're probably going to switch to a bi-weekly schedule, just to be easier on us because we are both still in school.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do want to get those 10 chapters out because that's almost a standalone storyline right there. What you can expect for the first 3 episodes, we're not holding anyone's hand, okay? You guys, you've watched movies, you've watched shows, you've read comics. I'm not holding your hand. We are jumping in there. No lubrication. Just straight action, okay? But don't let the action confuse you. There is a story there. And it's for you.
I swear. I swear. You know, you're lucky that you're at the Fool's Den where we could be our authentic selves. Because if this was a professional podcast, man, I swear.
Oh, dog, we're going in there, all right? So,
Thank you for your time today. I really appreciate you for coming on and talking to us and letting us know about your brand, especially you putting on your people. I always love that. I love to see it. I hope to hear from you soon. Let's see if we can get you back on the show.
thank
You
you.
got anything else for your fans?
Like I said, tune in January 2026, Soul Survivor.